Hello everybody and welcome back for another episode of My Chaotic Budget. My name is Sandra and on this channel we do all things budget related as it pertains to mine and my husband's paychecks. And in this episode we are going to get into the first paycheck of July. That's right, my paycheck is coming in either tomorrow or Thursday and I need to have a plan for that money. So that's what we're going to get into. All right, welcome back to those of you who have been with me for a while. Those of you who are new, welcome, welcome. Always good to have new people here, fresh faces. And we're just going to continue going. So we're going to look at this and we're going to see what's going on. Real quick, I'm going to tell you guys what it is I'm using for those of you who are new here. I do have a system that I'm working out of. And I love it. Moterm is one of my favorite brands to use. And I'm going to show you a little bit of that. And also, I do have my Erasable pens. I did need to buy a new one because mine ran out. It is empty. It is done. And when you're working on a budget, you need an erasable pen. So that pen I have been waiting to throw away. I just thought I'd let you know. So I have a whole new set. I bought them from Target, 3-pack, which was really, really good. I mean, it's not too expensive and they do last for a while considering that I use them often. So definitely this is my go-to pen and for several budgeters. So if you're starting your budgeting, you may want to go ahead and get yourself some erasable pens. These are of course by Frixion, Pilot Frixion Ball clicker pens, and it comes in a pack of 3. And I went ahead and I got the 0.7. It's a little bit bolder and I like it. All right, the next thing, of course, is I have a Mr. Pen calculator. I like this calculator. I like the clickety-clickety of it. And I use that to help me do my numbers. Very nice. It is very helpful in doing the numbers when especially you have so many to deal with. And here are my 2 Moterms that I am currently using. This one is an A5 Moterm cover and it houses my random thoughts journal that I just started, which I will share with you guys at random. And then my ledger book. My ledger book is where, of course, I keep track of all of our expenses that we make throughout a pay period. And I mark everything down as best as I can. So that way I can see where our money is going. And in this Moterm right here is my Happy Planner. This is the classic Happy Planner cover from Moterm. It is beautiful. I love it. It has this extension here so that way if you use disc, but I have 2 different Erin Condren notebooks in here. I've used this also for the Budget by Paycheck workbook from the Budget Mom. It is very nice to house it, especially because this doesn't leave home. And so when it's here at home, it's in a nice place, it's organized, and it's easy for me to find. That's what I use it for. I don't have any reason to take this out into the public, but I do have a reason to have it nice, and it's because I share it with you guys. So this I love. I absolutely love. Like I said, it's by Moterm, and I do have this one and the A5. Okay, so inside here, I do have my Erin Condren Dotgrid notebook, and I also have my Erin Condren Life Planner. This one is the vertical life planner, but I do also like the academic planner by Erin Condren. The only thing is that it's set up slightly differently, but it is a lot cheaper and you can find it at Target. It is very nice. I do have it, but I'm using that for work. And so I can't really show it to you guys because it has my work information in there. But I definitely highly recommend the Erin Condren planners. I know that they do have a unique smell to them. They have a unique touch to them. And if it's something that is not for you or you're curious about, you may want to just try it in Target because it's not that expensive. You can get a planner for like $30 and it's very nice. Just give it a shot. Just give it a try. All right, so what we're going to do today is we're going to use the Dotgrid notebook because we are going to plan out our budget. Now, something that we need here too, and I have that over here, is we need to know what bills are coming out. And I have this little layout here that I use in my laptop, but I'm going to take it with me. I know it's super tiny, but it has all the bills and what dates they're due. The only thing is that I have to update it because I left out Apple. I left my Apple storage out, but that's not new. I've been leaving that out for years. And I still can't remember to put it in there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and make our... This is the cover that the academic planner from Target comes with. It's very colorful, very nice. But what I love about Erin Condren too is that the covers are interchangeable. All right, let me take this little strap off. And we're gonna go over here, and we're not going to create a July calendar because that's what our planner is for. We've already said we're not gonna do that. So what I'm gonna do is these remaining pages that we have here, I'm just gonna do my budget by paychecks. So let's go ahead and get started. I will have to write a little bit at an angle, so just be ready for that. All right, so we are going to work on paycheck number 1 for July. All right, another thing is that I love these pens. I love them very much, but I don't like the way that they write so much on the Erin Condren paper because of the texture. And that's why I will also use the Energel. These are my other favorite pen, but this one is running low on ink. So I'm going to have to buy more of these too. But I do use them. I do use them often. These are my favorite pens to use, especially at work, because I just love how bold they are. And this, of course, is the 0.7 as well. This one I just love. I just love the way it feels in my hand, and I love the way it writes. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one to write in here for these numbers. Now that means if I make a mistake, I'm going to have to use my correction tape, but that's okay. I mean, we make mistakes, we make mistakes. All right, so the income that we plan on bringing in, of course, is going to be my check. And I've kind of done the numbers a little bit off camera. So what I plan on bringing in, and I'm just going to put here budget, is I plan on bringing in $2,844. Okay, so when the actual numbers come out, I'll go ahead and I'll put that in here. So that's what I plan on bringing in as far as income. Then I don't have anything planned yet for rollover, so I'm going to put a 0 there. But I do have extra debt, which oops, my Tamagotchi is requesting my attention. Uh-oh, give me a moment. All right, that is done. Okay, so I do have currently $459 in extra debt money. And I'm just going to go ahead and put the totals down here now. Okay, so I do like to do income first, obviously, because I need to know what it is that I'm bringing in. So I'm going to get my calculator here, and I'm going to take the 2,844, and I'm going to add the 459, and that puts us at $3,303. Okay, so that's where we are. Of course, the number can change once I do get my actual paycheck, and then I'll know more or less what needs to get done. The next thing that I like to do are going to be the bills. And there's going to be quite a bit of them because this is the start of the month. And so because there's going to be so many of them, I already start my lines. That way we can do it. So I do have my list here. So I'm going to kind of go through that a little bit, and then this way I can see what we got going on. Okay, so I will have insurance coming out. This is our vehicle insurance. and our policy is getting updated, so I'm not quite sure if it's going to change or not, but for right now I'm going to go based off of the number that we had from the previous month. So I'm just going to kind of keep with it. Now, I am afraid that it is going to go up. Just like with everything these days, I'm afraid that that price is going to go up, and I just need to be ready for it. But let's see what happens. Hopefully it's not too bad. All right, the next thing that I have that needs to come out is going to be the water. For water, I usually tend to put $80. It used to be $70, but it went up this past year, so now we have to put $80. The next thing is going to be streaming services, because like I mentioned before, my husband got some things changed for our streaming services so that we don't pay so much, and I'm not sure what the price is going to be, but I'm going to put $56 because that's what I'm going to roll over from the other account, but I already put it into my spending account, so that's why I'm not it's like I didn't budget it, but I did, but I didn't. But anyway, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. The next thing is Sony, and Sony is a video game service that we have. That's $20 a month, and then after that we start to see the SoFi loans. So SoFi number 1 and SoFi number 2. So we do have 2 different personal loans there. I'm going to put here on parentheses is the minimum payment for this is $520, but I am going to go ahead and already mark it down for the $1,000 because I need to have that paid. I need to get that $1,000 payment in there. So I'm already putting it in there. I'm already saying, let's get it done. Because I do want to pay this loan off within the next year and a half. And I have to hit it hard. And I'll explain how I'm going to do that in just a little bit. And then the SoFi loan number 2 is $540. And we're just going to pay the minimum for that one. We're not going to go any higher. Because right now, this is basically just helping me push one of my credit card bills that we had that had gone really high because we used it for so many different things, and it was for different things around the house, different vacations that we had throughout the years, and the amount was just going up and up and up and up and up. And I just said to myself, we got to pay it off. We got to pay this off faster than what we're doing right now, because it had a high interest rate, and the best thing to do was to get that personal loan, and it came out with a way lower interest rate than what the credit card was, and I'm going to keep the payments the same, so that way it can be paid off in 5 years, but hopefully sooner once we're done with this one, and hit it hard. Hit it hard. All right, the next thing after that loan is Ring. Ring, of course, is our video camera services that we have. I'm going to put $11 because it's $10.81, but I'm rounding it up. The next thing is Care Credit, which this will be the final payment for this account, which is awesome. Then we can add this to either our spending money or we can add it to our debt snowball, depending on what our needs are. So for Care Credit, I am going to go ahead and just say $80 because it's the final payment. And next up is Microsoft, which is another gaming service that we have, and we pay $25 a month for that one. This is, of course, to help my husband. He works really hard at his job, and he needs things to help relax him, and this is one of them, his video games. And I'm so happy when he's playing and he's laughing and he's having a good time, because I know that he is relieving some of that stress. All right, and then the last thing, let me see. I think the last thing that I'm putting on here, yes, the last thing was U.S. Bank. And I did mention how U.S. Bank is this personal loan right here. However, the interest kicked in when I paid this off. And so now I have to make the final payment of this. And I believe it's going to be about $330 because this was the interest that was being paid, which this is a huge amount of interest, right? This is huge. The interest on this one is way lower, which you're going to see the difference between that. Just knowing the fact that this was interest. I'm happy that we made that decision. All right, so this should be all of the bills. And if I forgot one, oh well, I'll add it again to the bottom. Let's find out how much this is. So let me add them up real quick. Okay, so that is going to put our bills at $2,368. That is quite a lot. All right, what does that leave us with? Let's see here. Move this off to the side so I can get this in here. We had 3303. And we're going to take away the bills, $23.68. Oh, damn. That just leaves us with $9.35. Okay, well, we got to pay the bills. We got to pay the bills. Okay, let me see. The next thing here is the next section, which the next section in our budget is savings, sinking funds, and cash withdrawals. If we can make some changes, we will, but for right now, this is where we're sitting. Okay, so we're going to put our budgeted amount and our actuals. So when we get paid, then we'll put in the actual. All right. Here, I'm going to write these down, but for right now, they're going to be left. Oh my goodness. Give me another second. All right, so debt snowball for 2025 was $200. So I'm going to put that in parentheses. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the debt snowball for Macy's, which will also be in parentheses, and that's of $190. And then yearly fee is $25, which I will take that out. So for right now, we're putting zeros here, but that's because these get put into the payment. So this, the $200 and the $190 need to go into making the payment of the first SoFi loan. So if we had, see how we had $459 for extra debt, $459 plus $200 plus $190, that only puts us at $849, and I can't make $849. I need to have $1,000. It has to be $1,000. So that means we're short by $151. So I have to find that $151 in here to make it work. I have to make that payment. I just have to make it. If that means we have less money in our food budget, then we have less money in our food budget, but we have to make those payments. The next thing is Ally high yield savings account. And I do want to save $100. Okay, so I do want to save $100 for our sinking funds that we have in our high yield savings account. And then I do also want to have dining out cash because that has been working. It really has, to put me in more control of what we spend when it comes to dining out. And then the next thing that I have here is that I do need to get our dog groomed. I call him a puppy. He's not a puppy anymore, but he needs to get groomed. And he hasn't been groomed in a while. So I need to have him taken care of. Okay, so I think that's everything that we can afford in this area. All right, so we did have $935. Let's see what this adds up to. 25 plus 100 plus 100 plus 100. That's $325. And we're going to take that away from the $935. That leaves us with $610. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's not bad. I thought it was going to be worse. So that's pretty good. Okay, so now that we're done with our savings, sinking funds, and cash withdrawals, because if we had that 150, it would have been in our GDGS, but that's not. It's going to go to the, okay. Hey, we make it work. Okay. So then now the last thing is our GDGS. Those are 4 categories that we track here. That is our groceries, our dining out, gas, and spending. Okay, so in these areas, I do a budget. Then I do the actual. And then that way we can see what we got going on. Okay, so from the $610, let's see, this paycheck falls on June 25th. And then the next check is going to happen the following week, which is when my husband will get paid. So that's July 1st. So we really only need to put this in for 1 week's worth. Let's go ahead and put $300 into groceries. My husband is going to be working, so let's put $160 into dining out because that's going to be mainly for him. So we take our $610, we take away $300, we take away $160. We still have $150. So I'm going to put $50 in gas because I just filled up, so I'm good on gas. So then that means we're going to have $100 for spending. Let's add that up real quick. And that equals $610. And that puts us at a zero-based budget. So with a zero-based budget, of course, that doesn't mean that you have zero money. It just means every dollar has a job. There's no dollar left over for anything. If there is any rollover in our bank account, we'll put that towards our spending. If there is any cash in my wallet, which let's take a look real quick. So this is my wallet that I'm currently using. Give me one moment because I do need to cover up my ID. Oh, I already had it covered. It's like I already knew. Let's see where we're at in our dining out envelope. Well, we still have $60 and we get paid in the next 2 days. So this is really good. The fact that I've been home and able to cook here at home, I haven't really had to use my dining out money. So this would go into extra debt. So if we don't end up using it, it's going to go towards extra debt. So I may keep that just for that. That way we can pay that off and then it would go in here. But I would save it for the next payment because it's a little tight squeeze, right? Because of the fact that we had this here. So I know we're going to have a little bit extra money, but I have to be very careful and very mindful. Because if I'm not, then we could get into some problems. And we do have a lot of debt, and I'll be doing a debt update really soon, probably after this video, but it'll be coming up during the week. So make sure that you put your notifications on if you're interested in seeing that, and stay tuned to see what's going on. I do need to create my July budget calendar, so I'll be doing that as well. That way I can make sure that I keep up to date with what is needed in our budget and I don't fall behind. All right, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.